Hola familia estelar. You did not land here by chance. You landed into a sacred world-line collision that's materialized into reality because you've become an unpredictable force to be reckoned with. So unpredictable to the point where you're a mystery even to yourself. Ooh, this is going to be a very interesting energy. This is something that you have summoned towards you because on the 7th, particularly on the 7th of November, you're watching this on or around this time. There's a huge theme that's occurring, a huge alignment that's occurring because Uranus is retrograding back into the sign of Taurus. This is literally going to feel like electricity running through your vessel, and this is going to lead to also profound breakthroughs that you're going to be receiving. I'll go ahead and talk to you about it, but when we talk about Uranus energy, we're talking about lightning. It is almost like the Tower card energy, where lightning is returning to the earth, and with it, every single soul is being rewired to remember its true frequency. This is where lightning strikes the same ground twice, but it's not a punishment. It's an activation point. This is a moment of destabilization that becomes a catalyst for you. It becomes a very reason for your transformation. It's because you're being called to, I'm literally seeing like spirit like this and lead to your focus being in a very specific trajectory where you are now seeing something you can't unsee. Something's being unveiled to you. Something is being brought forth to you. There is something that you're lifting the human condition in regards to. You're seeing it through the lens of the soul. And that's what Uranus's effect retrograding back in Taurus is going to be. So the story I was seeing was almost like a traveler that stands beneath, this, when it's about to get stormy and the sky kind of becomes this, it has this violet hue to it. And there's this scent of rain that's been hanging in the air, like the depths of the earth and the soil. I'm just kind of planting you in this frame vibrationally, right? But, a word for it would be something that is very conductive, right? It's a very conducive environment where these different elements are being brought forth. This is what's happening inside of you right now. And, the soil underneath your feet kind of lingers with this anticipation for what is about to, I'm hearing commence in your life. And, when you think about the word commence, it's like, allow the new season to commence. That's almost what it feels like is happening. But it's the silence before revelation, right? It's the quiet before the storm. And suddenly it happens, right? Boom, a bright light of lightning begins to rip through the heavens, and it's filled with this electric voltage that's kind of splitting the clouds open, and it strikes at your very feet, and it ignites the ground with this incandescent fire, right? It's almost like the light that transpires because of some kind of heat. So it feels like a reaction of some kind. Heat is usually caused by friction as well. So I feel like there's something that is going to be causing some kind of friction that's going to lead to some kind of explosive event of some kind. And friction is from rubbing. So I'm seeing this as something that is being charged together. I'm also seeing like tectonic plates. Kind of like having friction and it's causing like an eruption, right? Like an earthquake of some kind. So there could be something that's quite literally going to be groundbreaking. But I'm hearing this leads to a breakthrough because it reminds me of the saying where what's used to be your ceiling is about to become your floor in some way. So you're right on the verge of a breakthrough of some kind, or this is going to lead to a revelation or breakthrough because that's what happens, right? So anyway, suddenly you begin to feel it, and it's this current that begins to surge through you. You know how it's someone that's struck by lightning and you can feel it all the way down to the soles of your feet, and your feet are linked to the mind, right? It's almost like a relapse or rewiring or of this circuitry that happens within you. That's what I'm seeing, where it's like you're turning your attention back inwards because the head is Aries, the feet are Pisces, and there's almost something that is going to be completing, maybe a cycle that you're going to be completing. And the wild card is almost like an aha moment because somebody is about to go through a reset in their life and they're almost admiring everything that's led them to this realization. It kind of gives me like an epiphany. Like I keep seeing an epiphany, a eureka, a aha moment. So it literally feels like you're literally going to be like this, I don't know, mad scientist kind of channeling all these different energies and downloads that you're going to be receiving. but it's going to be spiraling through your bones and kind of racing out throughout your crown. So it feels like something that is divine. There's like a divine moment that's going to be happening, and it's going to be definitely most potent on this day, but it's something that's going to continue to have this after effect. It's almost like the afterglow type of energy. I don't know if those of you who have been around for a while, but I remember I did a reading about the afterglow, which is the light that continues to glow even after like the electrical current is no longer necessarily being charged, but it's the current that continues to circulate through the system. So I feel like there's something that's going to continuously inspire you and continuously keep you moving forward towards something. It reminds me of the moment where you have like an awakening or a profound, again, epiphany, but it's something that's going to continuously like almost like what would be the word? It's just something that you're going to continuously be re-inspired by every time you revisit an event or you revisit how you felt in that moment. It feels like something that's deeply coded within you. It's like where heaven's frequency meets the earth's extension, right? You're an extension of the earth, and they both meet each other in this aligned way where you become a living channel for this energy. It's something that awakens within you on a cellular level, right? With a Uranus energy, it allows you to vibrate with a new pattern, and the soul's higher circuitry begins reconnecting with the human vessel. It's almost like you're being like infused with this energy. That's what it feels like. That's what Uranus is. And it retrograding back into Taurus is this divine essence that you're being infused with. It's where you're returning to the higher mind while still living in matter, right? It's where you transcend the illusion of separation while still being in this system where you're living the illusion of separation. It's like you're seeing through this construct clearly. You literally become a living technology. The body becomes not just a vessel, but almost like a vehicle for creation. And the ground shakes beneath you, but not to destroy, but to repattern things, right? It's going to bring different things to the surface, things that you hadn't seen before. The root of your comfort or your habits or identity and who it is that you thought you were are going to be jolted, awakened, almost like get awakened. So it can feel like a rude awakening if you're resisting this change, but if you're going into this like embracing a change and embracing for your mind, it's like a mind blown kind of energy, right? Where there's something that's going to be extending far beyond you, but it's the moment where the soul recognizes liberation isn't just an escape, but it's an awakening within form, right? It's an awakening within this construct, and that's exactly what it feels like. And this could be, you might want to look at what house this is taking place for you. Is it within your daily habits? Maybe how you're of service to the world, maybe your working projects, right? The people that you work with, the people that work for you, sixth house energy. Is it to do with like maybe, again, your health and wellness routine? Is your spiritual aspects being applied into the practical things that you do? Can you apply yourself in the practical things you do with a spiritual essence? You know, it's like, is it being driven towards your 10th house of career? Is it your networks and the people that you surround yourself with in your future visions? You know, where is this in your chart? I would definitely invite you to look at that. But this is a revolution that's happening in the familiar, right? Where it's like you're in this familiar land, but now you can't see things the same. It's like, yeah, you're still in this world, but there's otherworldly knowledge that you're anchoring during this time. So it's where the soul realizes that stability can become stagnation if left unexamined, and Uranus kind of retrograding during this time returns here to say, well, what you thought was secure is meant to evolve, not ossify, right? It's not supposed to calcify. And the human self may resist at first, right? The ego may resist, because what is medicine to the soul can feel like poison to the ego in some way, and maybe that ego death is needed. Maybe there's something that needs to be rewritten. Maybe it's almost like you need to die to be reborn, right? In order for the phoenix to rise, it must first experience itself as ashes, and that's like the energy that's coming through. Because the ego craves like predictability, but there's a deeper current that's going to be calling for you during this time. And what happens after the Tower card, right? It's liberation within structure, not escape from it. The star card emerges, right? It's like a future vision. There's something now that you feel entangled with, but it's where you're guided by this celestial light, right? So that's the energy. And then we even have, I'll go ahead and read the star card and the Tower card in the other deck as well, in the multi-dimensional deck. But this is where there's a rewiring that literally happens within your body, right? So Taurus rules the senses, the body, and then also the material plane. And then you have this Uranus energy that is bringing this awareness. Okay, it's like plasma, it's life force, it's information that's being anchored into this physical vessel. And where you've previously been like disconnected or numbed out. It's almost like it's not like what's it called when someone goes to the beach? Come on. It's when someone goes, yeah, a defib. It's like a defibrillator where there's almost like a clear. It's like there's something that's being rewired. And if you think about that, that's centered around the heart, which is like your interconnectedness to all things. I feel like there's a connection that you're going to have to something. And it's like, oh my gosh, how didn't I see it before? Because it's always been there, but it's becoming visible. It's like you're anchoring back into your why, into your initial intentions. And there's a rewiring of the embodiment that happens. It's like, of course it is. It's something that happens to you on a nervous system level. All right. And I'm seeing, again, you have the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic, and then you also have the sympathetic nervous system. One is a fight or flight response, and another one is where you are still, you're focused on the cosmos within. You're in a place of feeling safe within this vessel, secure within, being in this material plane, experiencing life on Earth because you're so deeply connected to yourself. And I just feel like there's an activation of that parasympathetic nervous system where that healing takes place, right? The healing is to become whole with the soul and not see yourself as separate. But the timeless consciousness is experiencing life on Earth through this temporary, vessel. It's like a biological costume. It's the infinite experiencing itself temporarily through, this costume or this form. But there's pleasure that no longer happens in just like the indulgence or the immersing yourself in this sensory, 5 senses, Venetian energy, Taurus, in this matrix. But that's something that you're no longer losing yourself to. It's like you're no longer losing the connection to yourself by becoming so deeply connected. Oh, I don't want to say connected, but becoming so deeply falling unconscious in the system, falling unconscious to just the sensory experiences, to the emotions, to the feelings that you'll have, right? To the different biochemical responses. Instead, you're coming back to your sixth sense, which is your awareness. And that's what it feels like is happening. And it's proof that the divine still moves through form. It still moves through the physical because you're turning your energy back inwards. That's what it feels like is happening. It's like a return to the body. It's a return to this body being a temple kind of energy. That leads to an innovation, but it's like a lightning rod, right, of cosmic insight and daily life that becomes the art of anchoring the future into the present moment. So let me go ahead and read this deck for you as well. So in this card, you have the Tower, which basically talks about an unfamiliar place that you're being brought to, and also turbulence. And it talks about the shore. And the shore you can see is the unconscious, right, which is like the infinite potential, the sea meeting the land, right, the conscious and the physical. So when darkness subsides, you find yourself on a foggy beach. Confused, you look around and see nothing familiar. Did you make the wrong choice? The shore seems of another world. Fire rains from the sky, and the air smells the soot. In the distance, you see a graveyard of broken ships. You travel towards the ships, unsure of what you're looking for or who you even are. As the waves pummel the cosmic floor, the heaviness that hangs in the air creeps into your mind. Why are you here? The shore is the rock bottom of the spirit plane. If this card happened to appear in the wake of a disaster, do not let your sudden upheaval define you. While your current territory may be unfamiliar, underneath the crashing waves of the shore sleeps the world you know well. Change is a part of breaking new ground, and some transitions can be harder than others. Take the time you need to adjust to your new reality. Find daily comforts and embrace what you can of the familiar. It will make the unfamiliar feel more like home. So there's a new normal that you're going to be getting used to, essentially. And your next steps are going to be something that is steady, yet it has this electric current, right? It has this sense of, okay, my intention is something that grounds me as I take action towards this thing, as I align myself towards this thing. And it's where you become the path of itself, right? As you begin to embody it. It's where authenticity is something that begins to move through your every single heartbeat. And that's something that's felt. It's something that is rippled, right? The heartbeat causes this electromagnetic circuitry that's going to be felt through the things that you do. So there's a culmination point that you're entering, essentially. And then after the shore, you have the star card, right, that comes forth. And the star card in this deck is also known as the veil. So the veil is becoming very, very, very thin during this time, right, which is about your interconnectedness that you have to all things. Right, hope and reassurance, almost invisible. You feel a light veil cascading down your being. And if you think about the star card as well, it's literally a healing that takes place. because of almost like an interruption or disruption to your comfort zone, right? That's what Uranus energy is there to do. That's what the lightning energy is there to do. And it's here to say, are you sure about this thing? Okay, it literally checking you, it's having you check yourself. Knowing anywhere could be better than where you are now. You push on hoping for somewhere better than where you are. You emerge and notice a light that starts floating around you in the space that you're in. You start to feel a little lighter as well. The colors around you have returned, and so has your will. So it's optimism, right? It's a card of faith, renewal, almost like a renewal in the way that you see your future objectives or visions or aspirations. That's what the star card is, because it's 11th house energy. The veil is a gentle reminder that hope is sometimes invisible. The card is a beacon of hope that it's arriving or soon is on its way. So this is revelations that you're going to have, right? It's like new forms of inspiration that you're going to be aligned with. You'll be surprised by how drastically things can go from dark to light. It's like flipping a switch, and you'll feel more hopeful, and your faith in the future will surely return. Look for small joys. Remember the brightness of the sun and the magic of the stars. And in this deck, it also talks about swift change or turbulence, something that can feel catastrophic, but be ready for a swift change at any moment. The star card is about inspiration that comes from that catastrophic event, right? An opportunity within what seems to be a challenge of some kind. So there's something that you're revisiting. It tells you that you're going to be inspired, feel the good things that surround you, feed this light inside of you, and you will continue to repel the darkness. You may not know it, but you're an inspiration to many. If this card shows up, there's an opportunity to celebrate your achievements, no matter how big or small. So this is where you are being called to choose to bloom in a new way. That's the energy that's coming forth. It's like you're blooming in a new way, and there's a new light that's being shining within you. And I feel like the things that you go on to align yourself with are going to become a guiding light as well, because it reminds you of the star card in this deck, which is almost somebody leading by example. Okay. We have celestial uterus, a very fertile time. Again, it's a very conducive environment, right? And then you have collapse at the base, which is literally the Tower card in the Cosmos Oracle. It's literally about the failure of an old system. The old ways of doing things are just not going to be productive. It's not going to be something that allows you to really honor and nurture this next cycle. This is a very fertile energy. Celestial uterus literally talks about, again, uterus is a womb. The uterus is it's a conscious environment that allows you to grow into a new version of yourself, and therefore birth a new reality from the version of yourself that you're growing into, right? And reality is going to mirror that growth. So let's talk about celestial uterus. Genesis, fertility and support. Everything begins in a uterus as a container, solitary in silence, resting before leaving the dark to step into the light. And that's what it is, right? It's like in the darkness, the light emerges, right? That's when the lightning emerges. So giving birth to allows to flourish in society, which definitely reminds me of star card 11th house energy, and interact with the rest of the planet. So this is where the cosmos grants you wishes through, luck, social occasions, organizations, groups, communities, audiences, future objectives, aligned visions and goals. So the uterus gives us necessary time to contemplate the crucial phases of life, above all of gestation. What else could possibly come from that seed? We are born, we flourish, we gestate, we give birth to ourselves continuously in the cycle of life. We acknowledge ourselves as human creators who change our skin on a cyclical basis, giving life and birth to new parts of our being, eventually revealing it from its hidden gestation process. And I'm seeing a snake shed its skin, but it ends up shedding into literally a new species of snake. It's almost like a pass the parcel. You guys ever played pass the parcel? I remember I did a reading on this way back in the day, and I was talking about how your guides are passing you this parcel, and it's being passed around, right? And everyone's unraveling this layer, and there are little hints, or in each parcel there can be like a sweet, right? In each layer, you still get like little breadcrumbs, if you will. But Carl actually said this on an email. That's what's coming through. Is he said, like, I've been collecting so many breadcrumbs from the universe to the point where it's actually created a cake, right? Because I've collected so many crumbs. It kind of reminds you of that energy where there's something that you've collected where little pieces are making up the picture to the bigger whole. That's how I'm seeing it for you. So there's a center core essence that you're revealing or unveiling during this time with that. But yeah, it's like you're shedding a new skin of some kind. So yeah, our projects, our relationships are formed in the same way, the continuous birth in the fractal of life, which always needs two parts, the alchemy of the elements and the space to contain it. So this is happening within you, right? The alchemy of the elements. Again, it's like you're calling forth all the elements within you. If we think about elements, we're thinking about fire, right? Which is like divine inspiration, action that we take towards things, our desire. And then we have like water, which is about our emotion, our intuition, right? Really being able to honor our intuition as we take action towards this thing and trust what it is that we're seeing in regards to our vision. And then we have the earth energy, right? The earth is about how are we grounding that into the physical now? How are we beginning to actually take action to support that future vision that we have? And then you have like the air, right, which is about this intellectual understanding. It's about how you process information internally. It's also about how well you're communicating yourself, this to yourself. I feel like it's more of an internal dialogue that's taking place with you, with the air as well. But yeah, there's something that you're mentally and physically getting on board with what it is that you feel spiritually aligned with and feel grounded in. That's definitely what it feels like as well. Yeah. It's like where the external mirrors the internal alignment that's happened. So let's go ahead and get one more card from the Cosmos Oracle. I want to take a look at tell me about this. Okay, so I feel like we have this star card. What's the aftermath? The aftermath is Pluto. I love this card. It's actually the reason I got this deck. Pluto talks about unavoidable transformation. Is this going to focus? An unavoidable transformation that you're going through, right? Now, photon is light, right? But it's also some kind of information that you receive that shifts something, okay? Some kind of information that you receive. Pluto talks about you're outgrowing certain environments. I feel like maybe we spoke about that in another reading. Hold on. Maybe even outgrowing what felt like it was once aligned with you, Pluto. I feel like the things that you're doing are evolving as well, or the way that you do things because you have evolved. Pluto, where are you? I think there's only one P in this deck. No, I think there's got to be another one. It's always one of the tricky ones to find. Let's see. Here we go. No, there's quite a few P's actually. Pluto talks about the poetic legend. So in order for the phoenix to rise, it must first experience itself as ashes, right? An unavoidable transformation. And it's because of a conversation that happens within your psyche. That's what it is the interface of where your divine essence, non-physical essence, meets matter, right? Meets the physical biological costume that you're going to incarnate into in order to be able to experience life in this terrestrial plane. Once upon a time, a planet named Pluto was once part of the solar system. And I'm also seeing this as this carbon-based life form that you've incarnated into again. It had adopted certain belief systems within this matrix, inherited certain belief systems that would distort the way that your true eternal infinite potential would express itself. And there's something about you overcoming that fear within the vessel, like you're overcoming the illusion of fear and you're returning to the fact that you are an innate creator, right? So Pluto belonged to our family for many years. One day the laws keeping Pluto as one of us changed, and that's because this universe again has physical laws that we're all abiding by, and there's a universe within you where you were abiding by certain physical laws or belief systems that you had set upon yourself, and that is shifting. So because of that, you're moving towards a new trajectory where you're aligning with new resonant experiences. So what it is that you drew towards you from subconscious core belief systems or wounds, right? And the people and connections and places that you found yourself in, like jobs that you found yourself connected to and things of that nature, were things that you drew for through resonance, right? On a cellular level, there were certain, basically oscillations that were happening within you where you were moving at a very specific rate, like undifferentiated bandwidths of frequency light from the slowest oscillation to the fastest. The slowest are like feelings of like anger, fear, guilt, shame, insecurity, to like the fastest, which is unconditional acceptance, love, gratitude, deep, self-acceptance, compassion for yourself, recognition for yourself, things of this nature, which allows you to see things from beyond the physical. And there was like a nucleus of a family or ecosystem of experiences that you had attracted towards you through the slowest oscillation, right? And now you've cleared up that dense debris within the body. It's allowing you to ascend into a higher octave where you're able to remove these kind of belief systems, really alchemize and transform and change your relationship to yourself and your own potential in this realm. And that's allowing you to move towards a higher oscillation, right? Which has become detached from the physical, also physical things that have defined you. So maybe it's like certain titles or things of that nature. But anyway, you're drawing in a new nucleus of a family, right? New networks that are then holographically, energetically projected into the system that are mirrored reflections of what's going on within the internal neural networks within you, right? So it's things that you... Okay, my camera overheated, but my point was that we live in a very intelligent, self-organized system, and nothing is by chance, it's all through resonance. And because you're vibrating in a higher octave, you're now drawing in resonant experiences. Now, the experiences that you're drawing towards you are something that you have never experienced before because you've never been this version of yourself. You've never thought about the way that you do when it comes to your journey on earth. You've never felt about that. And I'm hearing felt about certain things in the way that you have as well previously. But anyway, Pluto. There were those who considered it a planet and others who did not. The silver lining of the story is that Pluto soon found its new tribe. Without much need for recognition, 𝓦𝓸𝓻𝓵𝓭, many of the planets were always there among the so-called dwarfed planets to welcome them home. If you don't belong, don't belong. So, don't know if that's going to focus, but with that being said, guys, I'm going to love and leave you right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. Also check out Water Spirit if you guys are looking for some high quality AA grade jewelry. You have 2 discount codes for that down below, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Until next time, bye.